All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this PowurPress training for PowerPro members. This is Vanessa Duplessis, VP of Field Operations, and I have our fabulous VP of Sales, Bobby Smith, on the line with us today. We do these calls approximately once a month for, Bobby, I'm going to ask you to mute because we got a lot of background noise. We do these calls once a month for our PowerPro members, and right now our goal is to help you use PowurPress more efficiently in growing your Power businesses. Today we have an awesome call scheduled for you. I'm going to ask you to make sure you have a notebook and a pen handy, as we always do. If you have questions, you can put them in the Q&A area, and we'll answer them as we can as we go. And the way it's going to work today, in the past, we've had Jonathan on, we've had me do a few trainings. Today we're going to tag team, Bobby and I. Bobby is a master, and over the years he's developed some incredible teams in multiple industries using LinkedIn. And he's going to share with us today how he does that. Now the trick is for Bobby, Bobby does 95% of what he does on his phone using his mobile. And because the mobile is not something that you can screen share through the GoToWebinar control panel, I am going to be Bobby's tech person. So I'm going to be showing on the screen some of the things that Bobby is talking about, and he's going to speak to different items around LinkedIn and profiles and groups and messaging, etc. So we're going to go with it. We're going to have some fun with it, and we hope that you learn a ton that's going to help you go out there and share the power, mission, and vision with the world. So Bobby, I'm going to turn it over to you for a minute, and we'll go back and forth as we need to, and we'll just kind of have some fun with this.
Awesome. So hey there, everybody. I hope all of you were on the 12 o'clock Eastern webinar, because, again, that's another part of the strategy that's really important to what we're doing here, is to use all the events, everything that we do. There's a saying in direct sales: what do? You do everything. How often do you do it? You do it all the time. And that's what our leadership team does. You see Jonathan taking down bonuses for putting in great leads for installations. I'm doing the same thing. Jim's doing the same thing. We're doing social media. We're doing online media. We do everything that you do all the time. So I want to talk to you about LinkedIn a little bit. Several years ago, I was asked to take a position with a motivational sports apparel company. I've played competitive sports for most of my life, and then I coached my son in over 50 youth sports programs, and a lot of that was due to the time I had that was, building my first direct sales company. I made enough money to be able to, spend that time with my son, and that was one of the great values with my wife and my daughter and my son that I was able to do. So I took a contract with this company as a client, and then soon after I took them on as a client, I realized that I had very few contacts in the sports industry. I just didn't. I was just a rec coach, right? So when I mentioned my new client at a family function I had and the challenges I might face, my nephew actually casually suggested that I try LinkedIn. This was, 7, 8, 10 years ago. LinkedIn was really kind of just getting steam. I'd heard of LinkedIn, but I was unfamiliar with it and how it worked. So I had travel plans the next week, and he suggested I read a few books on the subject, which I did. Purchased 2 books on LinkedIn. I think I still have them right now. I'm looking at them. And I read them on the plane to where I was going. When I arrived at my destination, someone asked me what I learned in reading those books. I answered I could write a book on LinkedIn. It wasn't really that difficult. In fact, when I first engaged in LinkedIn, I really felt like there was this vast ocean out there. I still feel that way to some degree now, and I was the only one fishing in it. Now, of course, there's millions of people fishing in it, but very few people really know how to fish. This is the best people out there, folks. This is professionals, the best of the best. So here I am. I wrote this training today, even what I'm saying to you right now, on a plane going to an event. So, you talk about a throwback or the universe or how it works. That's pretty cool, huh? So through trial and error in that first company, that motivational sports company, in around 6 months, from the United States to Africa, I built an international sales team 100% using LinkedIn. So since then, every client I take, every company I've joined, whatever I've done, LinkedIn has always been my first stop. It's the playground for professionals. So You know, the universe opens up people, to people that take action. So when you engage in anything, when you open up these doors, just, things seem to happen, and they happen for you, they happen for me. So not long after I engaged in LinkedIn and refined my craft and was in there every day working around my schedule, I noticed that one of the really cool groups that I had joined, the owner of that group was looking to move on and pass the baton. And it was the sports and exercise professionals group. Again, because that's where I was working, that's what I saw. So because my profile reflected the kind of professional that I was, and my engagement was good, I actually took over the sports and exercise professional group. I own that today, which is climbing to about 10,000 members as we speak. So anybody who wants to join that, obviously, can join that. So it went from me getting out of my comfort zone, reading some books, trying something different, able to build a international sales team using LinkedIn, writing a training on it, and then owning a group that has 10,000 people, which is, again, really pretty cool. So I learned that successful marketing on this platform was simply a combination of consistent work ethic and professional engagement and follow-up. Same way we do everything that we do. It's engagement, it's consistency, it's follow-up, it's professionalism, and all of this can be accomplished at no cost. You can always upgrade in LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is free. It's a free marketing platform to the best and the busiest people in the world. And it has a culture. So if you're making notes today, you got to be aware that there is a culture, and you have to respect the culture, just like Facebook has a rhythm. You have to respect the rhythm, or you stand out like a bad sore thumb. It's a business mentality. It's a chance to engage with professionals, and it's not overt recruiting. In fact, they have a very, big position on what they term multi-level marketing or network marketing. Some groups don't allow it. Some groups don't believe in it, even though that's not obviously quite who we are. But even on the direct sales industry, so you've got to go at this in an engagement fashion like Jim Bunch talks about. We don't jump on there and pitch people. We engage with them. So let's begin, and let's talk about these 10 steps that I put together. And, it's funny. I was talking to Vanessa. I've never shared this training with anyone in the world because I didn't want to give away my secrets. I really didn't want to. When it was time, obviously, with Power, I was. But I always thought I'd build it, I'd sell it, and I'd market it. But it's yours. So hopefully this will help you out. So let's begin. So if Vanessa wants to show you, she's on my page right now. If you start at your personal page, you want to have a picture that reflects a good picture. I chose the one with my wife and I. I used to have one with my wife and my kids. Recently, I just switched to my wife and I. And so you got to have a good picture. This is what people are going to be seeing. And then the next step is, again, you want to start to complete your personal information. So as you can see, I'm with Power, where I went to high school, where I live, how many connections I have direct to me. And then my tagline there, leading the national and international expansion of Power, the Uber of solar and renewable energy, providing busy entrepreneurs the opportunity to capitalize on the greatest and most important shift of wealth in history. Powerful line. Feel free to steal it. You all are leading the national and international expansion of Power. That's who you are. That's what you're doing. So you can see some of the people that are, I'm connected to or not connected to. It shows my background, Vice President of Sales and Marketing. So that's what I am now. You would put your current title. It'll show from when to when. I am the owner of the LinkedIn Sports and Exercise Professional Network. Gives me more credibility on LinkedIn. I was, right before Power, the VP of Client Relations for a medical company. And then before that, again, national sales. I was, been the vice president of several companies. I was a board member of the Nutritional Research Project. And, of course, I ran the National Cancer Foundation, which would be under more positions. I was the founder and executive vice president of the Colon Cancer Foundation. And, again, of course, I was one of the top people in the world for ACN. So that's kind of my background. My education, I only made it to high school. So my high school's there. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So that's my profile. So when you hang up here today, you want to take some time, first thing, before you connect with anyone. Because the first thing they're going to do is look at your profile. And if you don't seem like the kind of person that they want to talk to, or you were remiss in putting a picture up there, or you didn't take the time to do any of these things, then no one's going to take you seriously. Happen to get a good picture of my lovely wife. So think about that. That's where you want to start. And again, you can see exactly what I put for my position. So now part of the strategy goes to step number 2. Now that your profile is really sound and solid, you want to start to join and engage in groups. And Vanessa will show you some of my groups that I'm engaged with. So again, there's a sports and exercise professional. I got 29 people waiting to join. I got some people leaving me, messages that have in the moderation queue because I run that group. And again, I didn't know how to run a group until I ran a group. So you can see some of the groups I'm still in because I was a healthcare executive. Energy and utilities, renewable energy world, green, energy professionals, just every group that I could find that had something to do with solar. And if you scroll all the way down, Vanessa, if you just keep going and going and going, look at New Jersey. Look, so when I realized that New Jersey passed a law on renewable energy, I went there. If you look, I think Vanessa will show you Florida. There's a group for Florida professionals. We scroll back up a little bit. New York Community Solar is one. You see that? So in other words, you have the ability, if I were you, based on where you live, where you're marketing. Right now, you might want to go on Texas. You can look these groups up. Put Texas Solar, Dallas Entrepreneurs. The list is endless. You can join up to 50 groups at a time. But all of these groups will take you where you want to go. This is the beginning. They'll explain what the group is, what they're there for, who they are. So I would say join all relevant groups: solar, renewable energy, entrepreneurs, green. A lot of people are talking to real estate professionals. They're talking to people in the home services industry, mortgage brokers, and again, local groups in your area. Florida Solar, Florida Entrepreneurs, New Jersey Entrepreneurs. There typically is a maximum of 50. Some will accept you immediately. Some have a screening process. They want to see if you're in the industry that they're in. That's why your profile has to be good. Some might take a couple days or weeks. Some of the managers of the threads, even me on sport and exercise professionals, you saw I had 20-some people waiting to join. So sometimes these people have lives and businesses. So when they get around to it, they get around to it. You can see about 1,300 people, view my profile. So that's just recently. So let's keep talking about this. So,
Bobby, can I pause you for a moment?
Yeah, please do.
This is where I think I want to go back and forth. What I want to do for a moment, I'll let you take a breath. So for those that are looking at my screen, I'm back at the main home page, your home page. It's just kind of like you have a news feed in Facebook. This is your main home page in LinkedIn. What you're going to do is you're going to come over to the Tools button at the top, and you are going to then click on Groups. So I already had the tab open so that I could show you what Bobby was talking about, but I clicked the Groups tab, and that's what brought me to the most active home, the home page of groups, if you will. And then you have the My Groups for any groups that you are in, and you can search your groups. And then you have the Discover area so that you can discover groups. And so they're going to, from a LinkedIn perspective, show you groups that might relate to other groups that you're a member of. And so here we've got Solar UK. You could ask to join. You can say not interested. And you'll be able to build your group repertoire, if you will, through this groups area. Now, up at the top, there is a toolbar, and you can choose the order with which you want to display your groups. Bobby's in 101 groups. So I just wanted to kind of show a little bit of the technical for you, Bobby. So I'll throw it back to you. I'll do this on a couple of the other, like the messaging area as well when we get there, but I'll throw it back to you.
Please do. Everyone knows how technical I am that's on this thread. Okay, so so you get in here. Again, some of it's just trial and error. You just play around with it. You'll learn, right? So as soon as I get accepted in the group, as soon as you get accepted, you'll get a notification. Welcome to the group. And then you want to read who they are, what the group is about. But then what I've seen some of you do, and again, I have great respect for those of you who are already on LinkedIn and you're doing this now. You're just kind of posting articles from PowurPro. You're not really engaging the audience. We'll talk about that. So as soon as I get in the group, I'll post something. And, I'll tell you what got me started. Recently I was doing what some of you were doing. Some of you are on LinkedIn. You're taking a PowurPress article and you're just posting there. And you're going to get 0 likes or 1 like, or you're going to get me liking it. And that's going to be about it. There's no pill here, magic pill. So about a month ago, it actually just pissed me off, pardon my expression. There was a guy who made a post on LinkedIn, and it was, some of you may have seen it, I'm thinking of starting a solar company. And then something about who's ever interested, give me a message. Really? I'm thinking about starting a solar company? He has no idea what he's in for. He has no money. He has no idea. He's got no experience, but he's thinking about it. He had hundreds of comments. There was an engagement. So I don't like to lose. So I could not believe that I was posting, relevant articles and all that kind of stuff. And here's this guy with a simple engagement strategy, and he was killing me. And it just doesn't sit well with me. So I posted an engagement thought. And some of you may have seen this. All I posted was this. I'm so excited to launch my new platform on January 1st. This was right during like Christmas week. People doing a lot of things. I wasn't feeling well, so I just posted that. Here's what I posted exactly. I'm so excited to launch my new platform on January 1st as the Uber of solar. We're so thankful to have the opportunity to go where no one has gone before and dramatically move toward the adoption of solar energy. A special thank you to all that have assisted us in getting there, and an invitation to all of those who want to be a part of history. A very happy and healthy new year to all. 7,000 views and climbing, that one post. You're seeing some of the comments, 48 comments, 7,000 views. I signed up, I think, 4 or 5 advisors direct to the company. Placed those with people who are hot and working hard and doing stuff. Some of you may have gotten them. And I also found several solar providers. Many of the solar providers that we have right now on the platform, this great accomplishment that we've been able to get, that was done on LinkedIn. I connected with the owners of the solar companies on LinkedIn, got their emails, sent them information, and we went from there. And there's a sample, one of our members kind of putting up a sample post, and you can see how many likes are there. 1, and it was 3. One of them was me. Okay, great effort by that gentleman. Applaud that. Joe's a good buddy of mine. So you understand the difference here? So in other words, engagement conversations, and there's nothing more powerful than the Uber of solar conversation. Have you heard about the Uber of solar? So when you get into a group, you can just post something like that. Have you heard about the new platform launch for the Uber of solar? Not, ground floor, not pitching them. Have you heard? Just an engagement, That's all I did. Have you heard of the recent launch of the Uber of solar, or the launch of the Uber platform of solar in New Jersey? And all I do is copy and paste that same message into multiple groups. So right now, if I wanted to take another shot, which I probably will, as you know, I've been a little busy. Right now, I would come up with another thread. Wow, the launch of Uber has been off to a phenomenal success, a start. Entrepreneurs around the world are joining. Solar companies are excited. And I would just copy and paste that 50 times. So it might take me a half an hour. It might take me 45 minutes. But I'm going to reach 1 million people. Because some of these groups have 50,000 people, 100,000 people. Now, some of them are rarely on, never on. You'll get a little bit of everything. If you look at this one group, 168,000 members in the renewable energy world. Now, also, all of you are going to have to be careful not to trip on each other, because if you're all saying the same thing and doing the same thing, so you're all going to see the renewable energy groups. If you're all just on there, pitching or trying to sponsor people, and you're not probably going to get solar customers here, that's just not where you're going to do solar customers. So you got to be varied in your approach here. Maybe you have a personal passion. Maybe you're a fireman or a police officer, entrepreneurs. Just keep looking for different groups. Stay-at-home mom entrepreneurs, women in business. It could be anything. You just have to keep looking and looking and looking and find the groups that are going to make sense for you. There's so many different kinds. Look at all the ones that we're seeing here now. So many different kinds of groups.
And if you notice, I'm sorry, Bobby. I was going to agree with that. If you notice, none of these have any likes or comments or engagement on them, because they're just postings of just stuff, right? So you're going to want to look into the groups that you're in and make sure you're not tripping all over each other, exactly like Bobby said, And also look for, this is on the last 8 hours. You're going to look for, what's getting engagement and who's engaging. The other connection pieces, once you're in a group, you're going to get to know who the more active members of the group are if you're paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a rhythm, folks. There's a feel. There's no exact science here. Some of it is just done, when you're in there and you're learning and you're doing. There's no substitution for that. That's just where you get good. All this I just did by just by doing it. Okay. So, and all along here, as you go through here, then you want to start making some personal connections with, which Vanessa can show you. I picked up probably 1,000 connections. I would guess maybe since Christmas. I don't know. Because every time I was in a conversation, you might see somebody on there that makes sense to you. Maybe you recognize them. Maybe they're in your hometown. Maybe they're a renewable energy professional. Maybe they're this. Maybe they're that. So then you can send them an invitation to connect. And again, they may do that immediately. It may take weeks. It may take months. It may take years. I've got about 2,000 personal contacts right now. So again, that's 2,000 people that I can go message whenever something cool happens. So you want to build your personal connections. So 2 things. You're building your group connections, amount of groups that you're in, and you're building your personal connections at the same time, right? So you want to keep, invite and accept communication. If you're on there and you're in the game and you're connecting with people or people are trying to connect to you, then you want to accept their invitations. So when people invite me to connect and then I accept it, then I'll come back at them with something like this. Great to connect. Just flew into West Palm Beach to launch our Uber of Solar model on Wednesday night because they might have been in that area. Have you heard of the Uber platform for solar? Maybe you're talking to people that might be more familiar with Airbnb. And all I do is check this out. Once they respond back to me, then I'll send them the link to my video from the back office. Here's a sample. Have you heard about the new Uber model for solar? We're working with the best and regional local providers in the United States, seeking to look Atlanta down. That's how I get these markets. That's how I've gotten a lot of our solar providers. It's just messages like this. There's nothing more powerful than have you heard of the Uber model for solar. It just opens up the door. Once I engage, they'll say, no, I haven't heard of that. Tell me a little bit more about that. Really? Okay. Then I might send back the power film from your back office. And you can see I just do this over and over and over again. Same thing. This repetition. Then I will send them the film, our power video, the opportunity video from my back office. Remember, I'm not trying to get solar customers on LinkedIn. That's not my strategy. It is to engage with professionals, build up my presence there, be in groups that resonate. You also might pick up some great articles that are on there. I send a lot of articles to PowurPress, to our Power Weekly that come from LinkedIn because there's a lot of solar experts there that are placing some really cool stuff. And once you've engaged with them, at that point, you can start to use PowerPro. You're engaged with someone. Now you can send them one of the really cool articles. Maybe they aren't really dialed into solar. Somebody see on their profile, looking for a new change in life or business, seeking new position, seeking a position in renewable energy. That's where I might send them a powerful article from our PowerPro. Then I'd send them the video. It's an engagement. You're getting to know them. And that's what this is really all about. So don't just be cold posting PowerPress articles. It's not going to get you where you want to go, right? So you want to bring them in. Again, great to connect. Have you heard about the Uber for solar? Look at their profile. Look at the groups they belong to. Again, they might be environmentally conscious, so that's what you want to come at with. In Florida, I was saying, have you heard about Amendment 1? Are you familiar with the unbelievable opportunity in solar because of recent legislation? And then I can post the article. I might post a climate change article for Florida of Miami going underwater. In New Jersey, I might post the article we had about going 80% renewable. So, folks, it's just about engagement and then using the tools at the palm of your hand. So then it goes to, again, now you're in someone's warm market. Now it's like the co-op program, or now it's like you met somebody at the local, market. Now you're engaged. Now it's something like, hey, great to connect. I can see we have common interests. Tell me a little bit about what you do. Remember, Jim Bunch teaches that. Don't just sell them. Don't just pitch them. Tell me a little bit about what you do. I see your background. Sounds like we have some things in common. And again, it might be women, it might be age, it might be religion, it might be race, it might be, where they come from. These are engagement strategies. That it might be a woman talking to a woman. As a woman in business, I've always felt ... I see you're concerned about the environment. So am I ... It might be religion. I'm a person of the Jewish faith. When I can tell or see or knows that they are, I'll immediately go to that because we connect. I might see someone's from Baltimore. Wow, how's it going, man? Had any steamed crabs recently? I might say, hey, how about those Ravens? Personal connection goes a long way. Engagement goes a long way. A lot of it's then about consistency of effort. Line item 6, as with business or marketing, any business, the critical component is consistency of effort. I typically start each day, folks, just when I get out of bed in the morning or before I get out of bed, I grab my phone, which is charging next to my bed. I go on our Pioneer page to see what's happening. I go in our back office and see who's joined overnight. Vanessa and I track all this stuff all the time. Anybody I need to contact, any of those. I then go on MSN to catch any news articles, see what might be trending. I don't watch the news. I don't waste time in my life watching the news. I'll check on MSN, see if there's anything relative to the universe, to the energy world, to solar, and hopefully there's no bad news about the political climate that day. And that's one of the reasons I stay away from it. It's just depressing. But I do check it out every day. Then I'll go on probably ESPN, checked out what happened in the sports world last night. So again, this is just me. First 5-10 minutes, I open up my eyes. Before I have a shake, before I work out, before I do any of those things, I'll typically go on LinkedIn, go on Facebook, see what's happened. Has anybody invited me to join? You'll see notifications on your screen. I don't know if you show that, Vanessa, but you'll see, I see it on the bottom of my phone because I'm on my phone. Network activity, my network, see it up across the top of the screen here. Vanessa's doing notifications, messaging. If somebody's directly messaging you, it'll be a message in your screen. Wish someone a happy birthday, congratulate them on their new position. These are all ways to engage. I do this from my phone. 99% of the time, I am not on my computer in any capacity with Power. I run the company, I run the sales, I run LinkedIn, I run Facebook, all from the palm of my hand. So you can too. It all pops up on your phone the same way, sometimes even cooler or better than it does on the computer screen. Now, someone might bump in at some point. You might get into the MLM or direct sales conversation. And it really doesn't happen that much with me, folks, but just throwing it in here in case you haven't really learned how to do that. Remember, the largest solar companies in the world are losing hundreds of millions of dollars because their corporate pyramid structure, layers of management, layers of unproductive costs haven't worked. Renting real estate, kiosks in malls, Home Depot, manning those booths, training those reps, financing the multiple levels of training and the referrals that they give out. They're giving out referrals too to disinterested customers, paying for low quality leads. That hasn't worked. We're the solution to that. When somebody asks me about direct sales or they make a crack about network marketing, I say every prudent business professional knows that the $170 billion direct sales industry is one of the most powerful and effective means of distribution in the world. What did I just do there, folks? I just stopped them dead in their tracks. If they ask me another question, they're not a prudent business professional. Every prudent business professional knows that the $170 billion a year direct sales industry is one of the most powerful and effective means of distribution in the world. Uber and Airbnb have proven the value of crowdsourcing for consumers and entrepreneurs. If you know the deal about Uber, somebody wants a different experience to save money, boom. Somebody wants to make money, boom, right? Same thing with Airbnb. That's how it goes. And solar power and renewable energy is much bigger than that. So again, however you engage, when you're getting closer, when you've answered your question, this guy right up there now, Phil Del Negro, I posted on that. I don't know how we even came across each other. He was at American Solar Direct. Please, everybody, don't hit him up. I'm in conversations with him. Okay, please respect that. Maybe you'll get him. Maybe I'll give him to you, right? But Phil is an energy professional. We connected. He had a new job. Say congrats. He might have said, I think, looking for a change. I messaged him. I engaged him. I sent him the video. We're supposed to talk next week. My goal is to have him meet with Jim or Jonathan. He will sign up. That's an advisor. In your business, that guy could be worth $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month to you if you're willing to go to work and use these strategies. So however you engage, the goal is at some point to send them your D&D video, invite them on a three-way call. Then it's 101 stuff, folks. Get them to the Saturday webinar. Get them to the next Power event, the opportunity call, the webinar, a Zoom, a local meetup. Enroll them as an advisor. Move them into a Power launch. Assist them in getting certified, building their team, the two things that we do, and mastering. So teach them how to do what you're doing, engaging people in the conversation, and then teaching people how to do a live transfer. The next one I want to talk about really is time management, because that's really the biggest objection, I think, folks. That's why people don't do certain things, right? They're too busy. I don't think anybody on the planet could be busier than your management team is. But every day I'm on LinkedIn, every single day. 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I'm standing in line at a checkout of a store. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm waiting there, I'm at the airport here, wherever it might be. LinkedIn or any online marketing, folks, should be done in non-prime time hours. I don't want you taken away from your family. I don't want you taken away from your prayer. I don't want you to take away from your team building. I don't want you to take you away from direct money-making activities in Power. Remember, this is not a substitution for whatever you're doing. This doesn't mean get out of the warm market and go in cold market. This is just a thing. It's part of my routine, 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, every day. I've already been on there this morning, probably 5 times. So when do you work online? My recommendations are early in the morning, before your spouse and kids are awake, when you're hanging out watching a ball game, late at night when your family's asleep. If you hate your job and you're at your desk, do it at your lunch hour, or do it whenever you want to do it. But if not, remember, I'd rather see you use the lunch hour for real direct money-making activities. You're meeting with people in person. You're having a cup of coffee. You're talking about our opportunity, right? You're doing the things you do, team building and getting qualified leads. I do 99% of my work, again, from my phone, anywhere, anytime. I check in every hour or so, check activity, get in the rhythm. I check Facebook, check LinkedIn, add a connection or two, chime into a conversation. It's rhythm, right? When not to work online, I wouldn't let it take away from your time, your family time, your spouse, your significant other, your kids. Doesn't have to be that. It's a quiet activity that's done in off hours. You know, that's when I'd be doing it. 7 to 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. You can't sleep. You're not feeling well. I was sick in bed. I posted that article that had 7,000 reviews because I was sick in bed. I just had nothing to do. So I posted it in 50 groups. And look what happened. I signed up 5 advisors. I probably got 5 solar companies, okay? And remember, we're not pitching solar companies on LinkedIn. That is not what this is about at all. Anytime, after the corporate events, after the social. Because, again, the most widely probably used excuse that people have in direct sales or in business or whatever, why they don't do this, why they don't do this, is time. And I think that's just complete and utter nonsense. The most money I made, probably $1 million alone on one person in network marketing, was the busiest person I knew. Full-time periodontist, lectured at the local college, volunteer fireman on the truck 3 nights a week, avid ham operator, sailboater, 3 daughters, mayor of his township. You getting the point? This was one guy, busiest person I knew, built the biggest team that I knew. So I'm too busy just doesn't resonate with me. Because the people that are busy are typically watching TV. You want to watch TV? Great. Tape it. A football game doesn't take 3 hours. It takes about 20 minutes. If you watch it, you record it. I watch the Ravens games 3 hours later. I hang with my wife. I hang with my kids. I do my work, and then I watch it. It takes 1/3 of the time. People are watching the news. Really? Why would anyone in the world watch the news? Look, here's what's going to happen. You're in San Diego. The weather's going to be about 70 degrees tomorrow. The stock market's going to go up 50 to 100, up or down 50 to 150 points. You're in San Diego, your sports team probably lost. And terrible things happen around the world. How much time do you want to spend on that? Or you can go on MSN for 30 seconds and see what's trending that might be relevant or happy or important or something that needs your time. It's a complete waste of time, in my opinion. It's spiritually draining. And remember, I wrote this whole training today. Hopefully there's some value here for you on a plane ride. Just multitasking. It was the quickest plane ride I've ever had. One time I fell asleep, and then this was the second fastest one, because 2.5 hours it took me to write this training so I could give this information to you. Folks, it's about daily activities. A few minutes each morning when you wake up, working from your laptop in bed. I used to hide under the covers while my wife was still sleeping because she'd yell at me. And a few minutes before you go to sleep, I check my back office. Here's what I do. Again, the rhythm. I check my back office for new activity. Your Power business. Check your email for recent activity, your LinkedIn account, your Facebook posts, and just keep doing the same thing. Check PowurPro. Go in your back office. Look for super cool articles, and just make this a part of your life every day. Make a few posts, invite a few people to connect, and then just have a great day. And then teach others to do the same. Just remember that be brief in your recruiting efforts. You're demonstrating during your recruiting efforts how much time prospects will need to devote to their Power business. If you get somebody on an hour-long phone call, you're showing them that they can't fit this into your life. We send them a video. We get on a 5-minute three-way call. We answer their questions. We'll have an updated compensation video pretty quick. Vanessa's working on an updated how to set up your back office, tutorial to get everybody so you don't have to spend time doing these things. These are the next tools that are coming out. So be brief. Be concerted in your efforts. Get to the point. Get to the bottom line. My calls almost never go over 15 minutes because then you're demonstrating to people that they can't fit this into their life. Look, LinkedIn marketing, like so many aspects of business and life, is simply a process of the willingness to learn, the desire to grow, the confidence to succeed, and refusing to fail. I got 7,000 views because that guy pissed me off. The game's always on. Our game is always on. Vanessa, has anybody asked any questions during this, or do you want to open up for that on the dashboard?
I have not looked in a while because nothing popped up, but I do see one here. How would you suggest to integrate Power into my existing LinkedIn profile? In my day job, I'm a mortgage originator. That is an excellent question. So do you want to address that, Bobby?
Of course. So how do you integrate it into your business? So first of all, what you want to put on your profile is that you're leading the national expansion for the Uber of solar. I mean, again, if that wouldn't resonate with the people that you know in your industry, I mean, I don't want you to get in trouble with your job or anything like that. So in respect of that, you can see what mine is. I mean, you saw what my profile is. Vanessa can come back to that, or Vanessa will show you hers. But mine is leading the national and international expansion for Power. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Use my stuff. Again, I don't want to. Once all this army of people's on LinkedIn, I really don't need to be there anymore. So don't worry about me. I'm not going to get in your way. Vanessa's is disrupting corporate market with over 20 years experience. There you go.
Yeah, I'll speak to mine. So I have Power on my profile. I also do a few other consulting things that are on my profile. If you go and you see the description, you can see the things that I've done, just like Bobby. I've got a nice picture. I've got my degrees. I've got my certificates, whatever. But the big thing is your message. So I'm a digital and corporate marketer with 20 years experience driving sticky customers for clients to increase ROI. That's what I have done, and that's what I do, and that's what I do here at Power. So if you were in another field and that is where you're respected, you've built your reputation, etc., you want to stick with that, but you could have Power in your experience as an additional work item that you do. What I'm going to do after listening to Bobby is I'm going to add to this in here that, something about working with the Uber of solar.
Absolutely. So let me answer also for you. Let me add to that thought. So remember, for a lot of you, you're probably not going to get new clients on LinkedIn, right? So let's speak to the mortgage gentleman, right? If you're a mortgage broker, you probably aren't going to get clients around the United States for your business. So if it was me, whatever I did for a living, knowing that I'm probably not going to get customers on LinkedIn for my local insurance business or my mortgage brokers or whatever it is, I make Power my profile. I'm leading in the international expansion for the Uber of solar, and that's what they'll see. And then again, adding to that thought, if I were you, I would join a mortgage professionals group, mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers. Again, get in those threads. That's part of the home service division of our company. Bring them on one of our real estate seminars. Remember, we've broken this company up into 3 divisions: real estate and home services, 1; door knockers, 2; direct sales, 3. So if you are a mortgage broker professional, there's your groups, man. They're all doing refis. It's a natural conversation to get solar leads, and it's even a bigger conversation to go build a team. Boom. I would join a local group: mortgage brokers in New Jersey, mortgage bankers in New Jersey, real estate professionals in New Jersey. Network, and then see where it takes you. Have some fun with it. Learn it. Learn the rhythm. Anybody else have any questions they want to ask real quick? I'm not a big proponent for long, drawn-out trainings. You all have lives to get back to, families to get back to. I slept about 3 hours last night.
Folks are asking about is the replay. The replay will be emailed to all Power Pro members probably tomorrow. That's I think the next scheduled email that we'll have to send out. So keep an eye on your email for the recording.
So I hope this is helpful to all of you. Again, it's the first time I've shared it. The most important things I could probably tell you are to be professional, respect the culture of LinkedIn, consistency of efforts, and don't be pitching. Be engaging. How can you help them? How can you get connected? How can you romance them? You know, it's first it's a phone call, then it might be a cup of coffee. This is dating, then it's maybe you bring flowers, you know, then it's some chocolates, you know, we're getting your Valentine's Day. You know, you're engaging. You want to get to know them a little bit. You know, I've engaged with people on LinkedIn, sent them the video, talked for, you know, had 2 or 3 conversations, got them on the phone with someone else. Remember, then you want to base it on your strategies. Then you want to get the video in their hand. Then you want to get the 3-way call. Then you want to introduce your person you're putting on the call with properly. Then you want to follow up. Then you want to move into the next event, our Monday night call. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say our next call is Monday night. So move everybody that you've got towards that. But again, I would strongly suggest you don't just post PowurPress articles. You're not going to get engagement there. It's not going to work for you. I see all of you posting. It's not happening. It's not working. It didn't work for me. It's not going to work for you. You got to spend some time learning the tools to LinkedIn, learning the tools to Facebook. Vanessa's an expert. Will help you in whatever you do. It'll help you in your traditional business today. It'll help you in businesses in the future. It could help you in your life, your family life, your spiritual growth, wherever it takes you. I cannot tell you what LinkedIn has done for me building my business. Again, the first week I was in Power, I posted a Facebook article. I met 3 people for lunch the next day that I hadn't seen in 25 years. Signed them up all as advisors. So it's part of a strategy. Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm on that app. What's it called, Vanessa? Nextdoor? Is that what it's called? Nextdoor? I joined the Nextdoor app. You may have that on. I joined it on my phone. I'm engaged with people right now. I posted a picture of my solar and said, hey, have any of you had solar? Again, but there's a culture there. I wasn't pitching. I was engaging. It's called, they're neighbors. They're people that move in the community. They're coming on the application all the time, 5, 10 a week. They're moving in your community, out of your community. They're looking to connect with people, and they know you're the solar person in the marketplace. So it's everything. It's Twitter, it's LinkedIn, it's Facebook, and then it's personal. You know, it's meeting people out there in the community, getting to know them, getting engaged with them. So that's kind of the keys. I hope this is helpful to you. I've tried to pour everything I know into this. Vanessa's been extraordinary helping me get this together. Love your feedback. Sorry, I'm working on a little bit of steam left here from the trip. I just got back yesterday and, again, went at it early this morning. So I hope this is of value to you. We are always pushing the envelope. We are always iterating. We are always growing. We are always getting better. And this is just a part of that growth and that journey for all of you. So keep using your Power Pro. Keep using your PowurPress. There's going to be incredible engagement strategies that keep coming to make sure everyone on your team is engaged in this same strategy, particularly as it helps towards certification right now. So everyone that comes in your business, essentially, unless they got a great reason, should be signing up at our company for $4.99 and then going right on PowurPro so they can take advantage of all the great opportunities that you all have. Vanessa, you have anything else in closing?
Just a couple of things. Somebody's asking about LinkedIn ads. What we're trying to show you is how to do everything that you possibly can for free. LinkedIn does have ads. We're not going to get into that strategy as we haven't tested it. We're talking, when we do these trainings for you, of time-tested things that work if you apply them. So I appreciate the question. Again, PowurPro and using the PowurPress membership in combination with the free social tools is, very valuable. One of the other things somebody brought up, but LinkedIn has changed some things. Yes, the social sites are always going to change. This interface looks different from the last time I looked at the interface of LinkedIn. So, they're always trying to make things better just like we are, and they move this here, or they move that there, or they change the group setting, or they're going to do things to make their platform better just like we do. But the engagement strategies are the engagement strategies. The being consistent across the platform is a time-tested strategy. So don't panic if you're watching this video and LinkedIn doesn't look exactly like we've shown you today because you're watching this, a month or 2 or 3 down the road. All that stuff is just, ancillary. You figure out where they move the button to. But take in and ingrain into your head and your heart the strategies of engagement, of connecting with people and using the internet to connect with people around the world, and it will take you far. I've done this for many, many years. We've grown big teams around the world, and it's a beautiful thing that we have technology now. It wasn't that way back in your day, right, Bobby?
No, folks, I built my organization to 50,000 without the internet. The internet didn't exist. Since we've been on this call, at 1:38, I had a bunch of messages on Nextdoor, Nextdoor, Nextdoor. It's an app you can download. It's free. The LinkedIn strategy I'm talking about, free. I had 16 new messages coming on Nextdoor alone. And someone just messaged me at 1:39. Here's the message you'll get. Robert, I'd like to add me to your LinkedIn group. And guess where he's from? He's a mortgage broker in Orlando, Florida. So what do you think is going to happen next? Hey, great to connect. Tell me a little bit more about what you do. Wow, that's really cool. Have you heard about the Uber for solar? He's going to say, no, I haven't. Wow, I'm just launching that in the state of Florida. Did you realize with Amendment 1 being killed, how big an opportunity is for entrepreneurs in the Sunshine State? Wow, that sounds interesting. Great. Let me send you a short video. Take a look at that. We're launching Orlando as we speak. Great. You're excited? Let me introduce you to my partner. I'll set up a quick call, and we'll go from there. Boom. I'm getting notifications on my phone as we speak. This is what happens, folks. So with that, we thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Get us some feedback. Let us know how we did today, if we enhanced your power life and your business life. Have a great day.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.